Coming up on Cedar Valley today, the State of the Union address. President Obama pushes for progress this year.
And winter weather precautions, what you shouldn't be traveling without.
And striving to see, we have the story of a work student living a visual disability while adjusting to life in America. President Obama delivered his fifth State of the Union address last night. He urged Congress to support his agenda, but at times he said he's fine going at it alone. The president tackled topics and called for action on issues that separate Democrats and Republicans, as well as everyday Americans. The president discussed immigration reform, expanding economic opportunity, and raising the minimum wage nationwide. Good morning and welcome to Cedar Valley Today. I'm Jacqueline Schutte.
And I'm Ashley Davis. A Mitchell County man was acquitted of third-degree sexual assault yesterday afternoon. A Bremer County jury cleared 25-year-old Daniel Farmer of Orchard of a sexual assault charge against a 16-year-old girl. The jury believed his testimony of a consensual encounter with a girl in late October of 2011. The jury took only an hour to deliberate.
A Polish native took the next big step in life by going to college in the United States.
While she continues to adjust, this Wartburg student strives to try and see a new world through her very own eyes.
Cedar Valley Today's Caitlin Harbeck reports.
Marta Haniszkiewicz of Poland came to the United States for the first time this fall to study psychology. Along with the textbooks she carries to class every day, she carries a burden which leaves her disabled. Haniszkiewicz was diagnosed with retinitis pigmentosa when she was just 8 years old. The disorder causes damage in the retina, but it doesn't make the 20-year-old legally blind. She's lived with the disability almost all of her life, but it doesn't mean she hasn't hit a few bumps along the way.
The hardest things always was education. I couldn't see from blackboard, and I couldn't read.
To help get through her daily routine while at Wartburg, Haniszkiewicz relies on many tools within hand's reach.
She uses many devices like this handheld magnifier, which helps her read things from textbooks to emails to handouts.
She also visits the Wartburg Pathway Center on a nearly day-to-day basis with academic associates like Kelly Beck. While she may be the Polish student's teacher, Beck says Haniszkiewicz teaches her about the little things in life.
I go home a lot and think, I have it so good, and I take for granted how easy material comes to me, and really genuinely can't imagine being in her shoes and going to another country and having a significant disability.
Since her diagnosis nearly 10 years ago, her vision has progressively gotten worse. But she says it doesn't stop her from enjoying life.
I'm a person who does not give up, and even though I fall down, I always want to stand up, pick myself up, and trying new things in a new way.
And doctors in Iowa City are currently working on research to find some answers to improve her vision and her quality of life.
According to the Iowa Department of the Blind, almost 70,000 people are visually impaired, and of that number, about 10,000 are blind.
And Cedar Valley Today's Jesse Kielman is here for a first look at today's forecast.
Thank you very much, Jackie. Well, we're coming off a crazy weekend weather-wise here in the Cedar Valley. Good news and bad news with that. The good news is today feels a little bit better by comparison. The bad news is it's still going to be pretty objectively chilly. Current temperatures are about -4 degrees, and if that sounds bad, the real feel with the wind is about -20. We're going to see this temperatures rise to about 16 degrees around the noon hour, but the real feel will just be cracking 0 degrees, about 2 degrees there. Around the dinner hour, we're going to see 21 degrees, real feel around 7, and overnight we're going to see some scattered showers, 1.5 to 2 inches in accumulation. Back to you guys at the desk.
And thanks, Jesse. And the importance of driver safety doesn't end behind the wheel.
Elizabeth Jewett tells us how to stay safe in our cars after cold weather emergencies.
As the cold weather continues with temperatures dropping to below zero, it becomes more important now than ever to equip your car for a cold weather emergency. According to Officer Jeff Franzen at the Department of Transportation, it is important to keep your gas tank full. The full tank of gas adds extra weight to your car, lessening the chance of skidding. In case of an emergency, it allows your car to stay running while help arrives. Franzen also says to keep an extra pair of gloves, blankets, and a hat to help yourself stay warm, and a shovel, salt, and kitty litter to help dig yourself out of an accident. In the event of an emergency, call 911 and stay inside your car to preserve heat until further help arrives. Reporting for Cedar Valley Today, I'm Elizabeth Jewett.
And coming up next on Cedar Valley Today, we have your top 5 stories to get you in the know.
And the RAGBRAI route has been announced. We talked to the Waverly Chamber of Commerce to find out how Waverly is handling the news. We'll be right back.
Obama is taking things into his own hands and using his executive power to raise the federal minimum wage. He will increase it to $10.10. He says it's part of his plan to lower the gap between the rich and poor and says he will not just wait for Congress to make the change happen. And we're all too familiar with the snow here, but a winter storm is completely overtaking the East Coast, including regions where snowstorms maybe aren't so common. There have been 940 confirmed accidents in Atlanta, more than 100 of them involving injuries. In Alabama, the governor declared a state of emergency and deployed 350 National Guard troops. Stranded travelers sought refuge at strangers' homes, schools, and even Home Depot, which opened 26 stores to travelers overnight in Alabama and Georgia. And all that snow is causing a salt shortage in the Chicago area. So far, the city has used 215,000 tons of salt this winter. More salt is on the way from Iowa, but it's held up because of the ice on the Mississippi. The cost to buy salt has also tripled. Fans, players, and even security are busy getting ready for the Super Bowl Sunday. The Federal Department of Homeland Security and the FBI will help state and local law enforcement. There will be over 700 state troopers and more than 3,000 security guards. Even those who aren't going to the game but are using public transit could be randomly stopped and searched. The Olympic torch is being met with almost no viewers on its way to Sochi. This is because of the extreme security measures the country is taking to keep everyone safe. The torch is surrounded so close by security that it is not even visible. Traffic is not allowed either. The games are less than 2 weeks away.
The route for the Register's annual bike ride across Iowa was announced on Saturday. And for the first time since 1999, Waverly is on the route as an overnight town. Emily Neindorf from the Waverly Chamber of Commerce is here now to talk with us about what goes into hosting RAGBRAI. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So can you kind of tell us why Waverly wanted to host the event this year?
Sure. We actually want to host the event every year. Of course, the amount of work it takes will prohibit us from doing that. But we apply every year. And so we've applied every year since 1999, and this was our lucky year.
So what did that process of applying consist of?
Sure. So the Chamber of Commerce sort of coordinates the application for the city of Waverly. And so there's a lot of paperwork that needs to be filled out, information about your city's amenities. And they also expect a lot of support letters from places like Wartburg College or Chief of Police, large and small businesses. And so we coordinated that entire effort and got that packet to Des Moines in August.
So there's just going to be, a couple extra thousand people coming to town.
Yeah, 15,000 people.
Yeah.
That'll more than double our population for 24 hours.
So what's that going to do to, businesses and people of Waverly?
It's going to be huge on so many levels. So first of all, it is an incredible opportunity for us to market our awesome community, right? To get not just 15,000 people in our city limits, but much of the world kind of watches RAGBRAI, right, with the advertising beforehand and during. And so it's just a really excellent opportunity to just really promote Waverly.
Great. And so how much extra profit do you think businesses are expecting to make?
RAGBRAI kind of helps, they've done a lot of economic studies after other RAGBRAI events, and they'll estimate your area could feel a $3.5 to $4 million worth of economic impact from that alone. I mean, and that is everything, you know, shopping in our stores, eating in our restaurants. You know, different organizations are going to be fundraising throughout that time and coming together in different ways. It's just, it'll hit everybody in a very positive way.
And have you talked to residents in Waverly? You know, how are they responding to this?
We announced it on Facebook right after RegBri announced it, and I think that post probably had the most likes and shares and reach out of anything that we've ever posted. And so people are starting to get the word, just sort of that grassroots social media marketing way, and it's a very positive response.
So do you have like a RegBri committee? Do you meet and?
Yeah, so the fun began already. So on Sunday we received a 26-page packet to help us start preparing. RegBri staff will be here next Wednesday for their first meeting with us, and they come back every 2 weeks to help us. And so our first step is to set up an advisory committee and then an executive committee, and that executive committee will oversee 19 different subcommittees. And so the work to build all of that is happening now.
So far, what has kind of been discussed in steps to preparing for the event?
Yep, Chamber staff has met with city staff to talk about who would be some great people in the city to be on that advisory team who can really cross the limits of all the different constituents in Waverly and bring the right people together. And so we've had a lot of those talks already.
So what have these past couple of days kind of been like for you?
Pretty crazy. Our phone's been ringing off the hook with music, with people interested in entertainment, with food vendors, people interested in volunteering, and of course we've had a lot of media reach out to us too, which has been really nice for us.
And so has a theme been discussed for RegBri yet?
A theme has been discussed, but I'm not gonna share it just yet because, you know, we want that advisory committee to weigh in on it and make sure that they're happy with it as well.
Sounds good. That's all the time we have. Thank you for joining us. This will be the 42nd year for RegBri. The ride is scheduled to begin July 20th through the 26th and will arrive in Waverly on July 24th. And coming up after the break, what did Cedar Falls do to be named as one of the first certified Blue Zone communities in the world? We'll explain how. And Jesse Heumann will take another look at the weather and tell you what you can expect for the week.
Good morning. Coming off of our crazy weekend out there in the Cedar Valley, staying relatively calm. Unfortunately, still pretty chilly though. -4 out there about this time, but the real feel with the wind is going to feel like -20. Noon, we're going to see those temperatures rise to 16 degrees, but the real feel with the wind is still going to feel like just above zero, about 2 degrees there. And then as we move to this evening, 5 o'clock, temperatures will rise to 21 degrees. Still feeling those wind chills though. Overnight, we're going to see a little bit of precipitation, about 1.5 to 2 inches of that, and we're going to see that continue through most of tomorrow. Just some scatter showers, no real accumulation, so you kiddies waiting for it at home, still expect some school tomorrow. That is going to taper off in the evening hours. About 5 o'clock we're going to see 13 degrees and cloudy through the overnight. What does that mean for your weekend? Friday we're going to see 10 degrees with it dropping down to about 8. Saturday we're going to see that sunshine though, 14 degrees, but it's still going to drop down overnight to -9 degrees. Sunday, partially cloudy with 15 degrees with the low at about 2 degrees. Looking around the state now, on the east side of the state, we're going to see about 20s to mid-20s. A little bit of still windy out there. Des Moines is 36 degrees. Seeing 40s though out west. Looking pretty nice and sunny too in Sioux City. Looking around the nation now, East Coast Los Angeles, of course, enjoying that 78-degree weather. It is a little bit foggy out there, but I don't think they can really complain about that. Seattle, shock of all shocks, 49 degrees, seeing some rain. Denver at 54. Houston getting a little bit chilly for them at 47 degrees. Miami is at 78 degrees, seeing some rain there. New York and Washington, D.C., both at 24 degrees. Looking ahead then to your 5-day weather, again tomorrow we're going to see some scattered showers, getting cool off about mid-teens for the weekend, sunny on Saturday, and then Monday we're going to see 2 degrees. Now over to Ashley.
Thanks, Jesse. Life in the Cedar Falls area will be getting a little bit healthier soon thanks to a new Blue Zones initiative. Here to explain what that means for the city is project manager Sue Beach. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
First, can you explain what is the Blue Zones area?
Well, the Blue Zones areas are areas in the world that National Geographic explorer Dan Buettner and a team of people traveled throughout and found that people there in these areas are living longer lives and healthier lives. And so the idea behind the Blue Zones concept is actually to try to instill some of the same things that those people are doing in those areas of the world into our community.
So what does it mean that Cedar Falls and its surrounding area is a Blue Zones area?
So it's just Cedar Falls right now, and Waterloo is still working on their designation process. So basically in May of 2012, we were selected as one of the first 4 cities to work towards becoming a Blue Zone certified city. What that means is we were selected as a demonstration site. And so then we had a 2-year process to be able to hit 6 different sectors in the community: schools, work sites, grocery stores, restaurants, community policy, and then citizens overall. And those were the sectors that we worked throughout to try to make changes, significant changes to their well-being, to then be able to check off a box that says we have 25% of our citizens, 25% of our restaurants that have went through the process to be certified. So we moved from demonstration site to certified site.
So it sounds like a lot of work has been done already. So what's the next step?
Well, the next step is now we are still working on the Waterloo process, and we want to get Waterloo, the sister city of Cedar Falls, obviously, that was selected as a demonstration site, to be able to say the same thing, that we're certified. And as far as for both cities, after that process is completed, we work on a sustainability plan. So we have all of these different schools, restaurants, work sites, etc., that have made all of these changes. And so now we're going to work with them to make sure that those changes are really sticky and that this project is sustainable. Also, there's a lot of other community organizations that want to get involved that haven't started the process yet. So as you said, lots of work, but still lots to be done.
Why is this important for Cedar Falls?
Well, we really are a city that believes in well-being and overall well-being. It has to do with physical, emotional, social, financial, and really in order for us to be able to become Blue Zones and really feel that, we want to make sure that everyone's well-being is touched. And so we feel it's important as a community to be a better place to be, a better place to live, work, and play, and just enjoy our community.
All right, thanks so much for joining us, and
Thank
good
you.
luck with the project.
Thank you.
And coming up next in Cedar Valley Today Sports, the basketball teams traveled to Indianola to face off against the Simpson Storm. That and more in 2 minutes.
As we've been experiencing sub-zero temperatures here in the Cedar Valley, people in Ohio have been experiencing some strange weather creations. These unique snowballs have been formed by precise weather conditions. In order for these donut-looking snowballs to form, the ground must be covered with ice underneath wet snow. The strong winds then roll the snow to compact it into a donut-like shape.
And you've seen him on the outlet, and now he joins Cedar Valley Today to talk about us for the new single on iTunes on Friday.
Be sure to tune in Friday as we speak to this second-year Warburg student who is pursuing his music.
And that's all the time we have for Cedar Valley Today.
Be sure to return on Friday for our next show.
Have a great day, Cedar Valley.